So, service in general, right? I
Yeah.
was talking to Lexian a couple days, yesterday, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about service, like tipping, not tipping.
Yeah.
What do you consider bad service? So, just recently, we went to this one Korean barbecue place.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't all you can eat, so it's
Hmm.
different. You pay really expensive stuff. It was like a platter, a large platter of intestines was like $70, and
Jesus.
it fed like 2, 3 people. So we had
Yikes.
to keep getting stuff. So it was really expensive. It ended up being like $40 per person, and we
Uh-huh.
were like 11 people. It was really expensive.
Hmm.
So we were eating there in this really expensive place, right? And then I get a beer, and then the waitress, she's nice. She's, oh, this is your first time, great, blah blah blah. We order, she brings up this stuff, and then she's serving, putting some stuff down. She spills my beer on top of me,
Uh-huh.
so she knocked off the beer, and it spilled all over my seat, like my
Hmm.
pants, my t-shirt, and the floor.
Yeah.
And she dropped 3 paper towels. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she left. So I wasn't upset. I was more like shocked. I was like, "What the fuck? Like, aren't you supposed to like at least clean it or something?"
You need more than 3 paper towels.
Yeah,
You need like,
and then I'm like, "Excuse me, can you clean this, or can we get some more paper towels?"
yeah.
She's like, "Oh, is it slippery?" I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You just spilled this on me, and you're asking me if it's slippery? Are you
Actually,
fucking
no, it's pretty sticky now. It's it's all
and,
drying in
and
place
then
on the
she's like,
table.
"Oh, don't worry about it. We'll clean it later." Like, I don't give a fuck about later. I'm on top of it right now. Like, what is wrong with you? So I just couldn't comprehend like what the fuck was wrong.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just, Hakuna Matata,
Yeah, that's basically what she said, and I just couldn't understand. I wasn't upset about it, but I was just like, what the fuck? She just spilled like a 750 milliliter bottle of beer on me. I'm like, what is going on? Is she gonna put it? She didn't say she was gonna no charge it or nothing, so we
Yeah.
probably paid for it. I'm like, what is happening?
That should be like, free beer, free dessert, free like,
I mean, I'll take a free
appetizer,
beer.
whatever,
Just a
whatever.
free beer. I'll take that. But she wasn't even sorry about the fact. I was like, how could this have happened?
What
And
kind of
like,
place was this? It wasn't like,
it wasn't like a chain. So it was like a mom and pop shop, and it's owned by all Korean people.
uh,
So I was like, how the fuck did this happen?
there's
Like,
no way that's a cultural thing.
no, I mean, I really doubt it, but maybe. I mean, maybe she just doesn't feel that bad about it. She was like, oh, I probably spilled some. That's
It's
it.
not my lap, so I don't
Yeah.
know what.
I mean, I don't even know, because I was like, I was really confused. No, I was not upset, but I was like, 'cause, and this like, you don't want to look like a dick in front of
Mhm.
everyone. And we were 11 people. And I'm not gonna be like, yo, you just spilled a beer on me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't want to go out and like yell at this
Yeah, you don't want to make like a
bitch.
scene or whatever.
Yeah, I should have though, because like, what the fuck? So
That's
we're talking
crazy.
about like, have you ever had such bad service that you haven't tipped?
I took a taxi ride once,
Mm.
and I had like a reservation with some company. I don't know if this is actually bad service or not, but
Mm.
anyway, some taxi guy came up, and he was basically like scalping the reservations of other companies.
Okay.
Like he wasn't the company I made the reservation with. He was just some other guy with a taxi.
Oh,
But he
okay.
would like roll up and be like, "You have a reservation?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he'd like quote me the same price. And he'd
Oh,
be like,
okay.
"Okay, we're all set." But he's not actually the guy I made the reservation with. He's just stealing
Oh,
reservations.
wow, that's fucked.
And I found out because I had at the time, this was years and years ago, where credit card machines in taxis weren't common.
Right.
So I had called ahead to the company to tell them I want to pay with a credit card.
Mm.
And so when I got to the airport, And the guy's like, "Oh, I don't take credit cards." And I'm like, "Well, I have no cash. So you're going to have to wait here while I go find an ATM." And I found an ATM, and then I found a store in the airport that was open, and I got change for my 20s so that it was like
Yeah.
exactly the cab
Oh.
fare. And
Uh-huh.
I didn't tip. I just paid exactly what the cab fare was
Yeah,
because
that's a dick move,
the
dude.
guy
For
was like,
not for you, but for that guy.
yeah, like, and
Does that
now,
count?
I mean, I feel bad that I made a reservation and then, like, just bailed on it because I wasn't there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's fucked up, dude.
But,
The fact that that guy can steal like reservation, that's messed up.
yeah, I don't think it's happened to me in a restaurant, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
like
I've tipped low before. Like, with service has
when?
just been really bad.
Okay, I've never had that happen to me.
You've never
Like
had bad service?
I am not. First of all, I am not a person that gets upset easily,
Hmm.
despite what we might talk about on the podcast. In real life, it's very hard to get on my nerves, right?
Uh-huh.
Especially when dealing with service people.
Hmm.
Like if I go out with my family, like my sister will be like, "Oh my gosh, she's taking forever for this stuff," and I'm just sipping on my drink like I don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
I don't count how long it's been since I got my order, but if it's like a decent time late, like if it's like it's not easy for me to get upset, but if it's late, then I'm upset, you know.
What
So,
about
but I
when they
get
get it wrong?
when they get, I usually when I don't enjoy a place because of that, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I just either lower my expectations of it or just
Uh-huh.
don't go. So like I
Yeah.
know the Denny's by my house, it does. You want scrambled eggs? They'll somehow give them to you hard boiled. It doesn't matter what the fuck you order. They will bring you something that is not what you ordered,
Uh-huh.
and it's wrong. Like it's like it happened all the time. Me and my sister would go there for lunch. Just it's not even a good place to eat. It's just like you know what? I feel like I'm having some scrambled eggs. Let's
Yeah.
go to Denny's. I'm like, all right. I don't want breakfast at 2 p.m. So I'm gonna get a hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a hamburger. My sister gets the Grand Slam with a side of white toast.
Yeah.
So they bring the Grand Slam. They didn't bring it with ham. They brought sausages with it. So she said, hey, I wanted ham with it. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. They take it back. They bring it with ham. She's like, oh, here's your toast. Wheat. She's like, hey, I asked for white toast. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. There you
That's
go.
not
Right.
even like it drives me crazy when like we'll go out to eat with the guys at work, right? And there'll be like 10 people and we've got like 3 tables pushed together and the guy taking the orders doesn't write them down. And we're like, "Come on, just write it down. Like who are you trying to impress? There's no way
Yeah.
you're going to remember this all right." And sure
Yeah.
enough, at least one person has something wrong
Yeah.
because there's no way to remember how like 10 people want their burgers.
Exactly.
Like,
And they're all different, you know.
they're all
It's
a
not
little
like
different.
it's not
One
like they all
person,
want it medium rare. It's like some people don't want that. You
yeah,
know?
different. Like maybe one person wants fries, one person wants onion rings. Like
Oh, even
there's no
more.
way. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
I mean, it's just crazy, dude. I mean, yeah. What really happens too is that I don't get upset about stuff like that. Like if the food is 15 minutes late and
hmm
if I'm not there by myself, like if I'm doing something else, like we're talking, where I'm drinking already have my drink, so I have something to entertain myself with, and we're talking, then I don't care if it's late, right? We're talking.
yeah,
I don't if I'm on a rush, I don't go out to a restaurant. If you're in a rush, you go get fast food.
that's
So
a that's good advice because there's nothing worse than like being in a rush
and
and
everyone else is slow.
everyone else is slow or you're like trying to hurry because you've got to make it somewhere, catch some transport or something, train or
Hmm.
something, and the kitchen is like slow. And
Yeah.
you're like, God damn, this is a horrible idea, but we're in too deep. We got to go. Like,
Yeah, we already got our drink. We already have our orders in. Yeah,
yeah,
and then
like
they
we
take too long to get
can't
it.
give up
Yeah,
now. So then the food comes out and you just eat it way too fast. You don't even enjoy it and just get the check and leave.
hey, so you just overpaid
Yeah,
for food you
basically.
didn't enjoy and for zero experience.
And for, yeah, stuff you could barely even taste.
Yeah, so that's what I feel. So when I go to a restaurant, I'm talking with I'm not maybe I'll go by myself. If I go by myself, then take whatever long, I don't care. I'm on my phone or something.
Yeah.
And if it's been like a reasonable time, like 20, 30 minutes, I'd be like, "Hey, I ordered this stuff like 30 minutes ago. Where's that?" But I won't it's not like I won't tip because they're late. Cuz
Mhm.
usually when it's late, it's not the server's fault either. And
Yeah.
when I get food that it's wrong, burnt, cold, etc., you just have to ask. Like I remember this because one of our friends told that worked in the service industry. He always told me like if the food is not to your liking, you just tell them and they fix it. If
Uh-huh.
you eat the whole thing and then you're like, you know what, it was shit, then they're like, okay, we can't do anything about it. And second, you can't say, oh, it was shit. I ate it anyway though. Yeah, I want it for
Yeah.
free. You look like a dick if you do that. If you eat the whole thing and you then complain, then they
Mhm.
can't do anything about it. But if you eat it, you try it and they say, hey, this is cold as fuck. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, let me heat that up or something. Or
I've
let me
seen
bring
that
another one.
happen at movie theaters before. Like I was at this movie and there was just this like terrible whining noise the whole time, like "Ee," just in the background of the whole movie.
Uh-huh.
And like everybody sat through it and just dealt with it. And then at the end of like 50% of the audience went to complain and try to get their money back. And the manager was like, well, you watched the whole movie.
Yeah.
And which is true. But on the other hand, there was a super annoying noise.
Yeah, it's just that sometimes it's just out of their control.
Yeah.
Or it's like there's no way for them to understand or realize that there's a leak on the vent or something, if
Yeah.
they're not in that room. So yeah, I mean that's just what I do based on what I was told. If the food is cold, wrong, not what you wanted, you tell them and they will fix it. You're not a dick for doing that because you ordered whatever you ordered. And if it's cold, you don't have to. You're paying for it, so you're not gonna get food cold. However, I still don't want to look like a dick, so I sometimes don't do it, even though I should. Like if I get, it's like, hey, can I get that with onions? And they bring me with mushrooms. I'm like, hey, you know, can you like not? But if I'm like with friends, I'll be like, whatever, fuck it.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
take the
always I'm
loss.
always afraid that a lot I'll do that too. Like I just don't care enough to make a scene or
Yeah, yeah.
even, like make a scene means like tell them that they
Tell
screwed
something.
it up.
Yeah,
But I mean, part of it is I just really don't care that much. As long as it's good, I'll just
exactly.
eat it, even if it's not exactly what I ordered. But
Or
also, I don't
yeah.
want to catch the one day that the cook's in a bad mood, and I send the dish back, and then they pee in it, and they send it back out to me.
Oh
Like,
my God, dude, you're
I don't,
freaked out about that thing. I'm telling you that that's not gonna happen to you.
I don't know.
Like
I
people,
see. You say it's not going to happen to me, whereas I consider all the times I've eaten at restaurants that, statistically speaking, it probably already has. Like
no,
multiple.
no, it hasn't, dude. It hasn't. People don't just spit on other people's food just like that. Like you need to be either a massive dickhead to them,
Uh-huh.
or that's it. Like and if people do it, like if people that work in the industry see someone else doing it, they're not gonna be like, oh, letting that pass. They'll be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Are you sure?
I am sure, dude. It's just there's just no way they're gonna like let people spit on your food and just like laugh about it. It's just not gonna happen.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I think. So I've always been nice. I've never sent any. I have sent stuff back, but not like. You just don't have to be a dick about it. You just be like, hey, you know what? I ordered this like medium rare. And you just say can you, and you just point at it. You don't have to say can you like give me
You
another
didn't
one.
have to say
You say
anything.
can you and then they'll be like, oh sure, please. I'm sorry. Let me fix that.
Hmm.
You don't even have to say it.
I believe you, but I doubt I will ever do it.
I mean, I've never had such a bad experience at a restaurant where I haven't tipped. That's me.
Hmm.
So taxis, I use Uber, so I don't tip. Some people
Yeah.
tip at Uber, I don't because it says don't tip them, so I don't. But it's expensive enough already, and
Yeah.
I've never had such terrible service at a restaurant where I haven't tipped. Um, Bad
I'm
service.
sure at some point I've not tipped because I didn't know you were supposed to tip in that situation.
That's
I can't
really
think of what, but
odd.
I'm sure it's happened at some point.
The thing that has happened to me was in Paris. They treated us like shit because we were
Hmm.
foreigners. At just one restaurant, not all of them. Just
Uh-huh.
this one place that had really fucking good meat. We bought the. Were you there when we bought the platters with cheese and meat? We
No,
bought
I
like
think the only thing I had in Paris was that weird pizza thing that I didn't know how to eat.
the crepe.
I guess.
Yeah, it was. Oh no, it was a pizza, huh?
I think it was like a pizza, but I wasn't positive how to eat it. And I mean, no one like started screaming when I cut it into pieces, so I guess that was
Yeah.
all right.
But that this it's impossible that was your only thing you had, dude.
I'm thinking now, right? Because I agree with you. It seems impossible that I only ate one meal in Paris. That's
I
just not
mean,
possible.
we did wait for you. Oh man, maybe it is right. Because
Is
at
it?
the day we picked you, the day we met with you.
We went and played soccer like immediately for some reason.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And then from there we went to
Oh,
eat. That's the time we had that. And
yes.
then, but I
Then the
mean,
next morning it was a show, huh? Was that not it?
I must have eaten that day though, right?
Well, you
There's
ate
no way I
the
went the whole
crepe.
day.
You went the whole day no eating because in the morning I bought some pastries, remember? I went and got some pastries and I gave you like one thing, and then I gave Glenn the other thing, and then we ate it, and that was it. You didn't eat anything else until after the concert. And after the concert, we went straight to our place where there was bread and like ham or something that Glenn had bought. You remember that?
Yeah, I
That
vaguely
was
remember
it,
that
dude.
now.
That was it. That's nuts, dude.
Hmm.
So before we played soccer, before we met with you, or the day before, or something like that,
Uh-huh.
we went to this one place that we were just walking around yelping stuff, basically. And this place had like 4 stars or 5 stars. We're like, oh shit, and they serve like meat. So we're like, okay, awesome, let's go.
Hmm.
And it was a tiny place with like only the locals that go there every day or something like that. So
Uh-huh.
we're like, oh my god. So they sat us down. We were speaking in English because we don't know French, and they're like, oh my god, these fucking tourists. So we sit down and we're like, hey, can we get some water? Nobody gives a shit. Can we like, we're saying the word water in French. Nobody cares. We're like,
Uh-huh.
fuck, dude. So we're eating a thing and it's so delicious, but the service was so bad. So we were like, okay, you know what? Here's the money for the meat, and we left and we're like, no tip. And then we're like,
Hmm.
oh, nobody tips here. Fuck. So they didn't get to feel our
They didn't
rage.
feel the rage.
No, they it was just weird.
Hmm.
That was the only time we've gotten like really terrible service.
Hmm.
Other than that, it's always been at least decent. Never enough for me to get mad at anything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't remember. Even the times where some places like totally screw up. Like I got Chinese food from this place once,
Mm.
and their menu had like a ton of stuff, so everything just had numbers. And that was easier too with whatever language barrier we were dealing with,
Right. Uh
to
huh.
just say number. So I said like, I don't know, number 17 or whatever I said. They're like, okay, great. And so I get there and I go to pick it up and it's not what I ordered. And they're like, oh, you see, you said 17. You should have said 017. There's two different, like, that's different. Like,
What?
017 is one dish and just 17 is a different dish.
Oh
And
my
I'm
god.
like, this is a retarded system. Like, this is literally retarded that you have this on
Yeah.
your menu. And, but even that, so that was like totally wrong dish. But we still came to some sort of agreement that everyone was satisfied with, where he gave me like a
Please.
50% discount and I just took that and everything, and that was fine.